Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Propagandacast with me, ImperialDane, your host, and your commentator for this match, a 1 vs 1 on Semois. In the night, the Wehrmacht strikes at the Allies. Shall they survive? Who knows but me? And I'm not telling right away. That would ruin the fun and rather ruin the point. Well, not entirely, because there's still all sort of finicky fun stuff to tell about. But let's go have a look at the map. Of course, we do know Semois. Nice urban map, or at least semi-urban, rural, I suppose, more likely. Right in the center we do have this small village, very small, river going through some of it, cemetery, lots of heavy cover, lots of hard to maneuver area right inside here, of course making it a bit difficult for packs and other anti-tank guns to really move about here. This is sort of more anti-tank weapon of the personal weapons sort of area. Piats, Panzerschrecks, anti-tank grenades, Panzerfaust, all the fun stuff right there. Out here on the sides though, anti-tank guns, such, all that, will have a better time. Of course, keep such in mind. And of course we do have the 2 victory points right here in a slightly more secluded areas, nice for mining. And of course can also be a bit difficult in some cases. For example, here if you're going to move in from the north, the bocage here will make it a bit harder to deal with anyone without having to get actually close to the troops in heavy cover, which can be a bit of a problem for some types of troops. In the northern corner we are seeing me, ImperialDane, answering the call of the fatherland once more, and I'm sure some of you are surprised, some of you perhaps not. And here he is, ImperialDane, Hauptmann Dane of the... oh, I don't know. Oh, let's just say 12th SS. And who shall be opposing him? It shall be SS ssNordlandVG. And wait a minute, SS Nordland? That's an awfully curious name for Brit, in particular, considering that the Nordland Panzer Division, which it was actually served in the on the Eastern Front. In fact, it's served somewhere in the northern bits, for the most part somewhere near Nava. So what they're doing here is, of course, a bit of a curious thing, and of course you do see a lot of players who have SS names and all that, and then they're playing as the Allies, which of course only boggles the mind. But here he is, and he shall be leading the 51st Infantry Division. It will be interesting to see how he goes. And let us get right to the action. Rather long introduction, my apologies, I sort of got carried away there. Happens from time to time. Wehrmacht quarters being laid down. Pioneers on the way. Headquarters command truck sending something out, and we are seeing the infantry section, the reconnaissance section, moving towards the east. Lee Enfield rifles, some scoped. More mobile chaps, more daring chaps. Generally reconnaissance troops were the slightly better troops in many ways. They were usually the more bolder ones, and of course for the British that means they're the ones that can actually move about without supervision from a lieutenant. As British troops in Normandy were sort of not entirely keen on that whole getting themselves shot business, partly because the veterans were, well, tired after all, having fought in some cases since, well, 1940 France, and partly also due to some poor leadership business which really shone through during the early stages of the Normandy invasion. Some commanders rather swiftly found themselves exchanged, and there we go, folks, Grenadiers on the way. Headquarters command truck packing up. Nothing unusual there. I mean, considering that there's a fuel point right next to the British base, it's pretty much a no-brainer move to pack that truck up and move it there. And of course, the Vickers machine gun emplacement can provide protection for it as well. So again, you can do so without pretty much no risk at all. Brilliant, isn't it? Lieutenant securing this munitions point, rather interesting. A lot of players, when starting in this position, do tend to forget this point. I'm one of those, in fact, so actually rather nice to see someone going for this point. And just for a note, Mr. SS ssNordlandVG is a rank 12 Britain player, so he's going to be pretty good and have a nice idea of what's actually going on. They tend to be pretty good when they are level 12, or at least they ought to be. And we are seeing the bike on the move, sunned up bike. There we go, all lights, all fun. scouring the roads for any Bren carriers or any sort of British movement. Rather nice thing to do there. And yeah, I'm not. Yeah, he sort of appeared right there. And rather pointing out to him that I'm in a game. And of course spotting the lieutenant there, the lieutenant being a bit exposed there to motorbikes, but of course quickly being covered by an infantry section and the Vickers machine gun emplacement right there, forcing the bike into a swift retreat. I'm also noting something's going on there, so I'm rather sending it over quickly there. The bike having a large role in the early stages of the World War, but then it was rather swiftly exchanged for bits like, oh, I don't know, Kubelwagens and Schwimmwagens, since those were actually better reconnaissance vehicles than the motorcycle, among partly due to the fact that the motorcycles had a tendency of being rather noisy, and not nosy, but noisy. And well, when you're on a reconnaissance mission, the best thing to happen is that the opponent can't hear you from miles away. So of course something that changed right there. While Relic never added the Kubelwagen is of course an interesting choice. Would have been fun, but then again I suppose some might have been crying foul about it being a knockoff of the Jeep or something. And there we go, taking up positions right here in the structure, firing away at these Tommies as they are getting out of there. Jeep joining in as well, and we are seeing a Bren carrier on the move as well, already upgraded with the 30 caliber Vickers machine gun. That's going to prove quite a nuisance for me. Volksgrenadiers moving in, taking up positions right here behind the cover, taking a bit of cover there. We are seeing a lot of infantry moving in here. Volksgrenadiers staying a bit on the wrong side of things. A bit of indecision there, a bit of clumping up. Oh dear, this is not good. Taking up positions in the cafe, it looks like. No time for coffee. And Volksgrenadiers, although a bit exposed there, Bren carrier able to fire away through there and suppress those Volksgrenadiers, forcing them into retreat. Only one down, but still not the best situation, leaving behind only one team of Volksgrenadiers to hold the entire situation. Blasting away, the bike moves in as well. MG42 hitting the field, opening up here, and at the same time going for the skirmish phase. Pioneers securing the eastern and western territory, while the British are completely consumed in the center. Although looks like the recon section has broken off. Bike getting out of there, MG42 moving in. And looks like the Bren carrier is moving in for the kill. Oh dear, MG42 not expecting this, I wasn't certainly. And the bike goes up in flames. Volksgrenadiers inside the building are not in a happy condition. Bren carrier getting behind the MG42. And what do I do? Panzerfaust, there we go. Bren carrier taking quite a bit of damage and now getting even lower. Pioneers in the south ready to rack aiming, having laid down a mine. MG42 covering the approach from here, ensuring no pursuers will be able to aid the Bren carrier. Now the Pioneers are moving in. Bren carrier taking more and more damage. It probably won't make it for much longer. Oh dear, it pulls out of there ever slowly, guns blazing, and it hits the mine. Everyone gets a free ride into the muck.
One of our sectors has been cut.
Meanwhile, we are seeing the recon section pushing hard in the west. Infantry with the lieutenant to supervise them are pushing in the east, and we are seeing a field support truck setting up right there, securing this medium munitions point. Rather interesting move there. Normally you don't see them plopping down right in the middle of the road. Pioneers trying to salvage this Bren carrier are coming under quite a bit of fire, will be forced to retreat rather swiftly.
We are losing ground.
And we are seeing some further Pioneers hitting the field. In fact, oh dear, that was a nasty hiccup. 3 Pioneer teams, MG42 setting up on the other side of the river. And they shall be firing across the river in a hail of MG42 fire. Tommy's getting suppressed. Volksgrenadiers moving in for the kill as those chaps are pinned down. One MG42 gunner is down. Volksgrenadiers charging across, moving up to the Bren carrier. Still keeping a bit of distance, and there we go. The Tommies are utterly pinned now. We are seeing a bit of engagement right here. Captain moving in, Webley revolver in hand, being dashing, being brave. And meanwhile, these Tommies are absolutely not looking good. Pinned down behind this slight stone wall. And now getting gunned down as the Volksgrenadiers is moving in for the kill, leaving behind only the lieutenant. Forcing back the MG42. 5 Volksgrenadiers. How shall this ever go? And my goodness, the lieutenant just cuts down 2 Volksgrenadiers in one salvo. My goodness, what a brutal lieutenant. Forcing the rest of the Volksgrenadiers into retreat. Absolute. A 3rd Volksgrenadiers. This lieutenant is an absolute monster. At the same time, we are seeing a Stuart light tank arriving on the battlefield, forcing the Pioneers away. Not looking good there. At the same time, though, I am quite aware that there's probably going to be a Stuart very soon. Not a bad thing to expect from your typical British opponent. In particular on a map like Semois, where of course he can secure this fuel point right at his base. Keep such things in mind. Stuart opening up right there on the false grenades. In fact, this is sort of how I would do it. Get some Brits on the field, some Tommies that is, get a Bren KO upgraded, and then going for the Stuart light tank. So he's rather going for what I'm doing, usually as the British, which is not a bad thing, although he's sort of making a few mistakes here and there. And of course I do have mines, he does not. Reconnaissance section moving towards the center. No emplacement for the British so far. Not a single machine gun emplacement. No casualty clearing stations. No nothing. And the pack, the MG42s, the false grenades are all moving towards the center. Pioneers and a lot of other goodness. And now an infantry, a half track as well. Not an infantry half track. That's Panzer Elite business. This is a proper half track. Mittler Schützenpanzerwagen. And the Stuart opens up 37mm gun. Fires away at the MG42, killing one, but the pack fires in response. Panzerfaust as well. Stuart looking awfully damaged right there. Main gun destroyed, and the Stuart gets out of there. Recce under heavy fire. And escaping. False gun is moving. MG42 taking position up in the cafe. And the reconnaissance section hoping to seek refuge in the Church of God gets it denied from the cafe as the MG42 gunners serve a hot portion of hot lead. Jolly good show there, and meanwhile British troops are taking up position right here in the southern bit. Sappers and an infantry section now with the deadly Bren guns. My goodness, really a lot of firepower, plus that Stuart which is now getting repaired swiftly. Pack moving in, everything bearing down on the church. No respect for this. The fatherland only believes in Krupp steel and Porsche engines. There is no guard as far as they're concerned. And the half-track moves in, opening up on the British troops there, suppressing them rather nicely, rather swiftly. Love the infantry half-track. And sappers and now with Piats. And the Stuart light tank opening up on the half-track. The half-track will have to retreat rather swiftly. Not looking good. Pack re-maneuvering, rather realizing what's going on. British troops continuing the hunt, and the half-track is taking quite a bit of damage. MG42 keeping those dastardly British inside the house, the church. And meanwhile, Pioneers are doing a bit of work there in the west. And the half-track is taking extreme amounts of damage. Grenadiers moving in to support. Sappers moving forwards. And opening up on these Grenadiers. And we are seeing an assault. Blitzkrieg has been chosen. And assault grenades are being flung at the British. Stunning and damaging. Always good if you're seeing the British command or any other sort of climbing up his troops. Go assault, and a pack shot knocks out the Stuart. It's up in flames. Nice little bonfire there for the Wehrmacht troops, and the half-track is immediately being searched for anything that could be traded for munitions. And we are seeing another sapper team, rather interesting there. Sappers being decent infantry, although they can't really get any sort of anti-infantry capability upgrades like, say, the British can with the rifle grenades, with Bren guns. Still not entirely bad, but not really what I'd necessarily use for my main fighting force. I'd probably use them to support it, but there you go. Just my thoughts. Just like I used the Luftwaffe troops to sort of support my Panzer Grenadiers, sappers can be used to sort of provide extra firepower, in particular since they are cheaper than a full infantry section. Still no emplacement, still no casualty clearing station. Currently the 12th SS are holding the line. For how long, though, I cannot say. Pack maneuvering about, still not sure where to expect the enemy coming from. Volkswagen is taking the west, and this headset is being a bit of a bother. And the Pioneers saying they promised me something and secured the victory point, so that's all good. And another half-track on the way. I'm not giving up on those half-tracks. At the same time, the assault phase is reached. The British commander finally going for a casualty clearing station, although I can't feel but feel that's a bit too late and perhaps a bit too close to the home base. Instead of trying to have it close to the front lines to get actually some troops back. Looks like reconnaissance section is moving towards the north, while the rest of the British army is doing absolutely nothing. Rifle grenades are also being equipped. Not a bad choice, in fact can provide smoke and of course a bit of explosive firepower, lopping over walls and everything else. Looks like the infantry half-track is on the move, ready to reinforce some German troops, and a Panzertrack being equipped as well. All good, and the Sturm Armory is on the way as well. And looks like the reconnaissance section did hit a mine. Again, mines are a really good thing if you can get a few down. Can really pay themselves back quite a bit. And looks like the German troops will have to adopt some Panzer Grenadier tactics, get into the half track and get a bloody move on. In meanwhile, we are seeing an armoured command track on the way, and the rest of the British army is doing absolutely nothing. Not entirely sure I'm liking this amount of passivity on his side. Could be he's expecting something from this armoured command track, but at the same time, you generally don't want to be that inactive with the army. It's generally not going to do anything. I mean, it would be better off if you sort of tried to attack here a bit earlier. Of course, there are mines, but then again, you could have upgraded those sappers with some demolition kits, which of course also gives them minesweepers. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it's better to do something than nothing. Generally it's better to do that, and all times better be active than inactive. Even if you're just doing it for some defensive purpose. In particular though, when you're sort of pressed back at the river, you really want to be aggressive, you really want to break out. And you don't want to give your opponent too much time to dig in, of course. Lay down a ton of mines. In one-way half-track is standing nice and still, ready to move out to react to anything. Pioneers moving towards the base, and we are seeing a Stuke 4 on the move. Well being produced. And we are seeing the British assault moving in. Pioneers being spotted while laying down mines. Of course, the British reconnaissance section can spot mines, but only if they stand still. If they are on the move, they will not spot it. And there we go. One vanishing into the river, another dead in the brush. Not too fortunate there. And the half-track instantly moves in. Sappers opening up, and oh dear, I forgot the mid-game analysis, my apologies, but let's at least have a look at Nordland, who has gone for commandos. Half-track taking an awful lot of fire, and assault. That was a rather miscalculation there, and not having spotted the ones with the grenades, with the Piats. My bloody fault there. False Grenadiers taking extreme losses there. Another miscalculation from my side. Grenadiers holding the line, Stuke 4 moving in. Grenade firing in this reconnaissance section, killing one. Stuke opening up. Grenadiers holding the line against superior firepower. Grenades, Piat rockets, and Bren gun shells fly at them, but the Grenadiers are forced to retreat. Will they make it out of there? Only one, no, and he is sniped by this reconnaissance section member most daringly and audaciously. Sneaky little bugger. That was where my Grenadier team went. I actually wondered what had happened to it. So there you go. You can in fact use the reconnaissance section if there's one member escaping. Snipe the last one and you in fact cleared out an entire team. And there we go. Mines once more doing a bang-up job. Stu 42 on the move. And we are seeing a Staghound armored car on the way. Lots of manpower, lots of fuel. No commanders though. That could actually be a bit of help there to sort of open up a new front. Perhaps really spread me out. Instead he is getting that Staghound, no Firefly though, seems to be on the way to follow up. And there we go, we actually see a glider. Commandos ready, will they drop in? Will they drop in? False Grenadiers moving in, but coming under quite a bit of fire as the Staghound moves in. My goodness. Still no commandos doing anything. Not opening up a new front. A bit unfortunate there. Stuke 4 and Stu 42 moving in from the north, opening up, blasting away. Though the stone wall is providing quite a bit of cover there for the British troops. Stu 42 once more not doing anything. The Staghound moving in, ready to shield the British troops. And there we go, one sapper is lost to the Stu 42 fire, and the Staghound is now taking fire from the Stuke 4. Not entirely sure why he's using his Staghound like that. Bit unfortunate there, but the Stu 42 is taking Piat fire. And some shots seems to actually be penetrating. Not those, actually. And the Staghound is cleared out by the Stu 42. Its light armor no match for the high explosive shells of the Stu 42. Lots of manpower, lots of fuel, but now he's first getting the Staghound there, not earlier. There seems to be a sort of lack of coordination between what he wants to do. And no gliders landing in with commandos either. But now charging ahead with his British troops. Stu 42 fire, and the Stu 42 gets Oh dear, it gets buttoned up, but it gets out of range, and the British troops get hit, but survive miraculously. Volksgrenadiers are moving in, though. No commando still, though, and an assault going off. Where shall it land? Where shall it land? Looks like these sappers are coming under fire. Actual fire from the flamethrower pioneer team, Flammenwerfer. It looks like the British once more are forced back. Rather heavy assault right here. Again, why he isn't using his commandos is a bit beyond me. No, instead he's getting Cromwells instead of sort of trying to open another front again. I'm sort of confused by that. And of course I now realize that there's a Firefly on the field, which I do realize is a bit of a problem for my Stugs and Stu 42s. Neither of those really made to sustain fire from the Firefly, and there we go. Shot doing quite a bit of damage to the Stug 4 despite a lot of veterancy, and there we go. Game over. He actually didn't hold the victory punch for very long, which rather ended up giving me the victory. Rather interesting, curious game against a British player of veterans of level 12. Which usually means he actually ought to be pretty high up on the ladder. Not entirely sure what went up there, but I do believe it might have been that sort of blobbing up and using lots of Piats. Not a lot of support for his troops, so no emplacements. Casual clearing station again. Not entirely sure why he got it there, not here. And a sort of lack of defenses as the British. You do have to, again, sort of like the Wehrmacht, you have to get a sort of strong point up with some Vickers machine guns or a mortar emplacement. He got neither. I mean, for example, a mortar emplacement right here could have done a bit of help, or for example here in the market square, but no, he decided not, and I feel that might have cost him the game. Plus those assault grenades did quite a bit of job. Nice job here. Of course it was rather close here, but I was able to come back due to a Panzerfaust and a mine. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you did, want to subscribe or tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own. And again, I'd like to apologize for this game being awfully short, but I did thought they were rather interesting. Considering it was a rank level 12 British commander, it did feature some good bits from either side, but then again, he just seemed to lack the sort of greater strategic grasp, and why he didn't use his commandos is beyond me. Anyhow, cheers!